Welcome to Covers' NHL Puck Prop with Jingles and Coco, where one of us has had 3 assists in the NHL in one game and the other's had 3 donuts before noon. I'm your co-host, Josh Ingles, betting analyst for Covers, joined by 14-year NHL vet, NHL analyst Carlo Colaiacovo. What is up, Coco?
We are bringing the big hits today because it was a pretty good weekend for us with our puck props.
Absolutely. Got some plus money in the Heritage Classic.
Yeah.
Missed the handicap in the Calgary game, but other than that, our handicapping's been good. We've been trying to find the angles, and today we lead off with another banger. Dallas at Toronto. Toronto minus 140 favorites. Total only sitting at 6, which is giving us some good numbers in the goal department. And right off the bat, we're looking at an Alex Kerfoot anytime goal for plus 390. Now, we know the Leafs' struggles have continued. They're 2-4 straight up in their last 6 and have allowed opponents to score 4 or more goals in 10 of their last 12. Now they'll have to do it without the leading goal scorer in Austin Matthews. Coco, where do we see the Leafs generating some offense here after relying so heavily on Matthews for what seems like all season? And does this affect the lines down the middle?
Well, it definitely affects their line combinations because now you've got to, bring out the bingo balls and try to rejuggle your lines. And I think, as much of an impact Matthews has had scoring goals, he's going to be an impact that is missed contributing offense because look at that line that he plays on with Bunting and Marner. So I would expect that, in previous instances throughout the year when Matthews has been absent, Tavares has been getting the promotion. I expect that same thing to happen tonight. But now you need the bottom guys moving up into the lineup, which is why we're looking at Kerfoot here at any time goal plus 390. He's probably going to be playing on the second line, on the wing or in the middle, and he'll be getting some PP time too, because now, when you eliminate Matthews, I would probably anticipate one of him or Spezza will jump into that top PP unit. So again, gives him more value being on the ice, more in prime scoring situations to hit the score sheet. And Kerfoot has played really, really good hockey at home lately. The production has definitely met some of his potential value. So that's the uncertainty here when you're looking at this Maple Leafs lineup. I still expect it to be a high-scoring game because the goaltending struggles, and Dallas is they're fighting for a playoff spot. There is a team that can score a lot of goals too. But when you're looking at this game and try to find some potential production, you got to look for the bottom of the lineup guys getting promotions like Kerfoot.
Yeah, 2 goals over his last 4 games and making it even more impressive. Like you said, he was playing in a bottom 6 role, but he has been playing up in the top 6. He does have chemistry with Nylander and Kasha. 43 points in 59 games. He's one of the most unsung heroes on this team, I would think. And he could also take Jason Spetz's spot on PP2 with him possibly going up to PP1. What are the chances, like you said? So JT moves to center 1 and Kerfoot centers his line because second line because plus 390 for a second line center to score is a great price and should be closer to plus 200. What do you expect, hopefully, from this Nylander, Kerfoot, Kasha line if they do get put together?
Well, look, this could be a blessing in disguise for this Maple Leafs team because over this last stretch, they've been carried by the production of that top line and having to overcome some of their defensive deficiencies with their defense and their goaltending, which, as we stated, has been one of the worst percentages in the league over the last 3 months. So a lot of the talk has been, where are they going to get their secondary scoring from? Well, these next 2 games, they have to find that secondary scoring, which could make guys like Kerfoot, Tavares, Nylander, and other guys that may get promotions, bring added value to their production as well too, because if they're going to have success while he's out of the lineup, they need to step up.
Yeah, and due to Kerfoot getting bottom 6 minutes late, his props aren't available. So not all prop markets are open for players. Goal props are always available, but for guys usually in the bottom 6, you're not going to find them for assists. You're not going to find them for point totals or shot totals. So finding these values, we pretty much specifically have to go to the anytime goal scorer market, and that's where we're hitting this Kerfoot at plus 390, which was the same closing price he was when he was on the 4th line in the Heritage Classic game. So with Matthews out, we're looking for a bigger payout with all the uncertainties. That's a big thing. These are, we're just taking some guesses here at what happens. And you know what I mean? Sheldon Keefe could throw these lines in a blender as the game goes on too. So with all these uncertainties, we definitely want to take some plus money shots here. So even at half a unit for this Kerfoot prop, we're winning. If he scores, that's almost plus 2 units. So Alex Kerfoot, anytime goal score, plus 390 in that game. Probably a great game to live bet and see what the line combos actually are.
True.
Awesome. Jumping over to Detroit at Edmonton. Edmonton, massive favorites, minus 300. And we are looking to keep riding Connor McDavid over 1.5 points at minus 115. Detroit had been allowing 5.00 goals per game since February 1st, before that uncharacteristic good goaltending game in Florida where Thomas Greiss stood on his head. Now they face McDavid and the Oilers, who might have the train back on the tracks finally. Is it point night for the Oilers against the Detroit team that has allowed 53 goals over their last 10 games, despite Greasy's performance versus the Flames, where Detroit still ended up giving up 43 shots?
Yeah, I don't look at it any other way, Jingles. I mean, you look at this matchup, you got a high-powered offense with the Oilers against a suspect defense and goaltending with the Detroit Red Wings. And Detroit, let's not kid ourselves. As much as they're giving up goals, they can score goals too. So that's why I anticipate there being a lot of offense in this game. When you're looking at offense, look at one of the best players in the game, Connor McDavid, coming off of a 2-goal performance against, a game where they probably looked at it as a measuring stick for them against the Tampa Bay Lightning the other night. 2 big goals leads them to victory. He is tied right now in the Art Ross scoring race with Jonathan Huberdeau. So you have to imagine that he's probably entering this game too with the mindset saying, this is probably my chance to extend on my lead because I'm playing against a team where I'm going to get my offensive chances that struggles to play defense. So look, anytime Edmonton scores, you automatically look at McDavid being one of the guys leading the way in the score sheet. I expect no different tonight with him. You're not looking at goals, you're looking at points. And I think it's safe to say with Nedeljkovic going back into net, who has clearly struggled, not Thomas Greiss. I mean, McDavid over 1.5 points seems like almost gimme to me, no?
Yeah, and it's been hitting consistently, his over 1.5 points. So McDavid and Draisaitl both have 12 points over the last 10 games, which isn't crazy. But McDavid has been shooting the puck a lot more. He really looks like he's trying to put this team on his back after all the adversity they've gone through all year. And that race in the West is getting hot. And I think we brought up a great point.
And so just to touch on that too, a lot of the discussion around Edmonton was when Dave Tippett was the coach, he was playing McDavid and Draisaitl a ton to the point where these guys were feeling burnt out into the game. Since their new coach has come in, he's sort of spread out the minutes, and now he's utilizing McDavid and Draisaitl in more offensive minutes. I like to categorize it as quality versus quantity. And so this is probably why you're seeing a jump and boost into McDavid's play lately, because he's finding himself having more energy to be in those offensive situations and hit the score sheet. So I expect no different tonight.
Awesome. McDavid has recorded multi-point games. In 9 straight games, he's hit the score sheet. So in his last 9 games where he scored at least 1 point, he scored at least 2 in every one of those games. So that's why you're seeing this price at minus 115 for 2 points. He's averaging 3.9 shots per game, and he gets 12% of the team shots. So, and as we saw in the Tampa Bay game, he came out, scored the game's first 2 goals. When McDavid is in shoot mode, that's even more dangerous, and that's why we're really running. Like, this is what we said last game. We're not just throwing money at McDavid because he's the best player. He has a lot of things going for him right now. Like you said, the Art Ross race, which is massive, especially with Matthews on the sideline, and the playoff race heating up in the West. So
just to talk about the playoff race, which will lead into our next game. Edmonton right now sits at 68 points, tied with Vegas at 68 points. Vegas plays Winnipeg tonight in Winnipeg, and we'll get on that next. But you got to look at Edmonton thinking to themselves, okay, this is a game for us that we have to have against the Detroit Red Wings, because at least it'll give us that security in the standings to stay in that playoff spot.
And there's only a handful of guys, Nate Mack and Austin Matthews and probably Connor McDavid, who are already at the top of their game, but when it comes down to crunch time, still have room to hit another gear. And that'll be a big one tonight. And you know what I mean? Getting 2 points seemingly every time he hits the score sheet. Give us Connor McDavid over 1.5 points at minus 115. And then we jump in to another massive game. These games in the West are getting intense, like
Juicy.
the bottom two spots.
Juicy.
Oh, it's great. Vegas at Winnipeg. Winnipeg slight minus 115 favorite. Total sitting at 6. We're looking at Pierre-Luc Dubois over 0.5 points, minus 128. The Knights' offense finally got going. Scored 4 goals versus the Blue Jackets, but still lost 6-4. Dropped their 4th in a row and 7 in their last 10. They're clinging to the 8th spot in the West. They're dealing with even more injuries. Max Pacioretty is questionable. He left 2 games ago, didn't play in his last game. Mark Stone out, Riley Smith out, Robin Lehner out, Braden McNabb, Alex Martinez. Like, they are injured at every level, basically, in their roster. Is a very physical Winnipeg team excited to play against a dejected Vegas team tonight, despite being just minus 115 favorites?
Right. I think they have to be. I mean, you talk about, game of the season for the Winnipeg Jets. It's tonight, because as bad as things have been for this group, they are 4 points back of Vegas, who hold the final playoff spot tonight. And today is what they call one of those 4-point games, right? You win, you close the gap, you lose, you extend the gap to 6 points. So, Vegas, as much as they're reeling right now, and they've got a lot of reasons to be, they have to look at this game too and think, wow, we're running into a Winnipeg Jets team right now that is coming off one of the probably most emotional comebacks and big team character wins last game in St. Louis, which was a big divisional game with a big comeback in the third period to lead themselves to victory. And the guy who led the way in that was Pierre-Luc Dubois. And that's what you expect in games like this that have this type of stake on the line. You need your best players to be your best players. Pierre-Luc Dubois is having a pretty sneaky good season with 24 goals and 23 assists. And you talk about power play opportunities. We don't know who's going to play net right now for the Vegas Golden Knights. I anticipate it to be Brossoit because he played for Winnipeg last year. He didn't play last game. But regardless, the goaltending they're getting isn't up to standard. So you got to like Winnipeg's chances to continue rolling with their offense here, especially if they get power play opportunities.
That's a really good question. As I'm going off script on this, but where does the edge lie in a goaltender coming back to face a former team? Does it lie within the goalie who knows the shooter's tendencies, or does it lie with the shooters knowing the goalie's tendencies? I think I got that right.
Yeah, no, I think it obviously there's a lot of familiarity from Brossoit having to face, shots from all these players in thousands of practice that he's had with that group. But it's more of what the environment is going to present. You've got a very fragile Vegas Golden Knights team that right now has the league's longest losing streak at 4 in a row. They are feeling the heat over there because of all the pressure for them to make the playoffs and be a playoff team with some of the guys that they've acquired and some of the players that they have on that team. So, Winnipeg's a raucous building. Like, you talk about a home crowd that can really change the sort of direction of a game. It's in Winnipeg because they're right on top of you. They get really loud. They get behind the home team. And they've probably saved up a lot of their energy because they haven't been able to attend a lot of games this year. So you talk about what's on the line tonight with a playoff spot. The environment is going to be hostile. It's going to be electric. And that, I think, is something that Brossoit hasn't faced in that building and something that he's going to have to sort of settle into quickly. And they always say when you go into environments like that, it's weathering the storm in the first 10 minutes of the game. And a lot of that is based on the play that you're getting from your goaltender. So a lot of pressure is going to be on whoever's in net from Vegas, but the pressure is going to have to be sort of restored, because Winnipeg's going to come out flying. They know what this game needs for their season, and especially with the big boys on that top line led by Pierre-Luc Dubois, just to record a point in this game is good value if that's what we're trying to find.
Yeah, and Winnipeg probably happy to be back home. They'll play just their 5th home game in their last 12 games. They score 3.95 goals per game on the season at home, scoring 4.71 goals per game at home over the last 30 days. And Kyle Connor has just been on an absolute tear. He's probably one of the most underrated goal scorers in the league. He has 11 goals over his last 15 games. He plays on the wing with Dubois. And although his props don't offer much value, his centerman, Dubois, has been cashing in with 11 points over his last 9 games. There should be a correlation between these two because they both play on the PP1 as well. When you get a hot scorer on your wing, how much does that create offensive opportunities for yourself, not just an assist, but also as teams key on Connor for yourself? And how fun will it be to forecheck for the big body Dubois facing a beat up Vegas team here?
Well, that's where my point was going to lead to. You know, Dubois, with what he presents with his size and his strength, is going to be a matchup nightmare for this Vegas Golden Knights defense. I know they got Alex Pietrangelo on the back end, who's a workhorse back there, but he can't do it all himself. You know, McNabb not being in there, some of their other bigger bodies not being in there, not having their top goaltender in there. Yeah, Kyle Connor is the trigger man, but Pierre-Luc Dubois is the guy digging the pucks out of the corners, the guy getting in on the forecheck, the guy battling net front. So again, over 1.5 points, those are the little plays that can get you, a winning ticket on this play, because he doesn't necessarily have to score. All he's got to do is do the dirty work and set up his wingers that are, like you said, lighting the lamp too.
Yeah, greasy secondary assist coming off the forecheck, no problem. Yeah, with Connor paying minus 245 for a point, and Dubois paying, what are we looking at, minus 115 for his point, or minus 125. Getting the centerman here is always something I'm going to do. Vegas has also given up a power play goal in 3 straight and 6 over their last 6 games. And this might be like the biggest letdown spot for Vegas too. This is their last game of a 5-game road trip, and they haven't picked up a single point yet.
I know.
And they're losing bodies. So this, and Winnipeg's going to be bumping. Pierre-Luc Dubois over 0.5 points, minus 128. Love that one. Those are our 3 plays. This is another slate that we absolutely love, and we're banging it tonight. And that will do it for us on Covers This Puck Props. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Let us know what you think in the comments. He's Carlo Colaiacovo. I'm Josh Ingles. This is Covers. Lead us out, Coco.
Let's keep that money train going, baby. May the winners be yours. Bang!